how did the ball first get put in your hands?
Growing up, I was a football player. I was a wide receiver. I never even thought about playing basketball. I was just a little kid, that just played both sports. But, I took football serious. And then a good friend of mine, his name BJ, he passed away. His dream was to, play college basketball and the NBA and stuff like that, be ranked and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I feel like God just blessed me, with the athletic ability, the height, because he knew, I was doing this for him. So, yeah, that's how I started.
What's going on today? I'm the host, SchuZ, and joining me today is the number 44 ranked player in the class of 2023, according to On3's 2022 Top 100, a four-star recruit, the number one player in the state of Ohio, two-time All-Ohio first-team selection, the 2022 Ohio Division III Southwest District Player of the Year, a one-time Division III Ohio State champion, and now the seventh highest-ranked commit in Cincinnati history, Rayvon Griffith. Rayvon, I appreciate you taking time to come on today, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely, man. Well, you just announced your commitment. You're staying home, going to Cincinnati, and as I just said, you're now the seventh highest ranked commit and one of the winningest programs in college basketball history. What goes through your mind when I say that?
That's crazy, because I didn't even know I was the seventh ranked highest player. That's crazy. That's due to my ears. Just glad to stay home.
So now that you've made your decision, you know that this long recruiting process is over. You don't have to worry about that no more. Is that a sense of relief for you, or how does that feel?
Yeah, for sure. I can finally, just focus on basketball, not worrying about, a new college calling there, 2 seconds. So, that's great.
Absolutely, man. Well, we're going to get a lot into Cincinnati on the end of this, but I want fans to get to know you and your story, how you've become the player that you are today. So if we head back, as I said, you're staying home, you've grown up in Cincinnati. What's it been like growing up out there?
It was rough, a low, poverty area, but, I always know where I want to be and I always know what I wanted to do. So, I had my plan, me growing up there, I never let, the crimes and stuff get to me. I know my goal and I know my dream. So, I just stuck to it.
I think that for some people, when you just look at that and say, okay, well, obviously don't go down the wrong path, don't go do that stuff, might be easy to say, but when you're in that environment, obviously it's not as easy. So what kept you locked in? Why did you always say to yourself, there is this other route that, and sometimes maybe it could have been better in certain aspects, but I'm going to stay true to my path. I'm going to stay true to basketball and following what God's got in store for me. What kept you on that path?
100%, my family and, God, I feel like God played a huge role in that, just praying to him, believing in him, believing that he'll take me in the right path. My family, just keeping me out of that type of stuff, telling me to stay in school, stick with the hoops. They always told me, you're bigger than all this, one day, it's going to happen.
Growing up in that environment, how has that helped make you into the person and the basketball player that you are today?
Definitely my mentality, coming from, a rough environment, you play with that chip on your shoulder because you're playing against players, that didn't come from that rough environment. So, you definitely got something to prove.
At the same time, you are someone that I've always admired for saying that. Honestly, I think you're one of the most down-to-earth, humble guys. You're someone that always is more fun with people. And especially when you look back at your story, a lot of people might say, how is that possible? How have you been able to be someone that is not just a good person, but is one of the above and beyond in terms of wanting to give back, wanting to be helpful to people? How have you established that personality in yourself?
Just because, I came from a rough environment, I always, been a nice guy, a good guy. I grew up rough, but, that's not who I am. I always knew at a young age I was bigger than, where I'm growing up at. And, that's something I'll never forget, where I came from, the people support me, ever since I was younger. I always get back every chance I can.
Now, this obviously goes forward a little bit, but knowing that you now get to stay home and represent this place, that you basically are making it now to the largest scale basketball-wise in Cincinnati, you want to represent that and have Cincinnati across your chest. What will that mean to you?
It mean everything, because I always put on for my city, everywhere I go. Finally playing with that Cincinnati around my chest, I get to, represent it again, the right way, at the college level, at one of the highest levels. And, I'm definitely going to go out and perform, represent my city well.
I want to go a little bit into your family to start off with your mom. She's someone that's helped raise you guys. I believe you have 8 siblings or 7 siblings. You have the eighth child as well. What has it been like growing up in that? And just how big has your mom been for you in your life?
My mom, is amazing. She's, the best woman I think on this world. She raised, 8 kids with me being the youngest, in a small apartment, by herself. So, that just, explains what type of woman she is. She's strong, she never gave up on us, I'm never going to give up on her.
What would you say is the biggest lesson that she's taught you?
Stay humble. My mom a very humble person. If you see my mom, she real shy, but at the same time, she a strong woman, and she always gonna make sure her kids is successful. Always make sure they straight.
Now, I have to imagine that having that many siblings might have been hard to have a strong relationship with every single one of them. But are there certain siblings that, rather be brothers or whatever it is, that you've become really close to and have helped you now being the older brother in your life?
Me being the youngest, they all try to teach me, don't make the mistakes that they made, and my mom always, kept us tight, kept us together, because we all going in different paths and stuff like that. So, the key of us, just staying together and them teaching me the right way is my mom.
How did this ball first get put in your hands? Was this something that you grew up just playing from day one? Did you grow over time and fall in love with this game? Or how did the ball first get put in your hands?
Growing up, I was a football player. I was a wide receiver. I never even thought about playing basketball. I was just a little kid, that just played both sports. But, I took football serious. And then a good friend of mine, his name BJ, he passed away. His dream was to, play college basketball and the NBA and stuff like that, be ranked and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I feel like God just blessed me, with the athletic ability, the height, because he knew, I was doing this for him. So, yeah, that's how I started.
Would you say that if the thing that happened with BJ, would you say at that point in time, football was your main love and that kind of helped motivate you towards basketball? Or was it something that you just said, okay, I already kind of are equal with them, maybe in basketball a little bit, but now I'm going to go all in on basketball because of this?
Oh yeah, for sure. BJ, was 100% the reason I took basketball. My main sport. He was a good friend of mine. I seen how dedicated he was to the game. So I just want to do this for him.
Now, let's say you decided to play both sports or even went up with football. How good do you think you could have become a wide receiver?
I was great. I was ranked number one in Ohio. For at the wide receiver position. So I was pretty good. I was always the tallest kid on the field, but I was pretty good. But at basketball, I was alright. But I didn't really take it serious. I didn't really care for it for real until BJ passed away.
So, what age was that when you decided to go all in on basketball when BJ passed away?
I started taking it serious in the 6th grade. Yeah, so I was kind of a little late. Coming into the game, people been playing since they was 4 or 5 years old. They started at a young age and stuff like that. But I started in 6th grade, start really taking it serious.
Now, another story that I heard about was that when you're about 12 years old, I believe your mom was also shot in a drive-by. Take us to that story. What exactly did that change for yourself, and how did you deal with that?
It really, just changed my mindset, about, everything, at a blink of an eye, it can all be messed up. My mom was just sitting outside having a good time with her friends. Somebody drove by, decided to do something, that reckless. So, it really just humbled me, to not take nothing for granted. And, I could really change my family lives, with this basketball stuff. So, I know, I got to make it, because, stuff like that can happen. I don't want none of that to happen to my family. I want us to all, live a good life and be successful.
When you grow through up to that environment, obviously you've bought in on basketball. Is there any sense of pressure and weight on yourself saying, I know that I can play the college level, I'm going to have my career there, but ultimately making it to the big dream, playing the NBA, being able to get your family out? Has that been something that's motivated you a bunch or even put pressure on yourself to any degree?
My family always tell me, there ain't never no pressure. Just go out there, have fun. All the chips gonna fall. That's what I've been doing. Having fun. Enjoying the moment.
Well, I want to go a little bit into your basketball journey then, because you start off, as you said, you kind of fall in love with the game or go all in then at 6th grade. And you get a unique opportunity. You become a part of Blue Chips, and that's when you first start playing with that group. So how did that all first start? What brought you to Blue Chips and how that connection began?
I was on Instagram, just posting, some of my dunks, that I was doing outside in the park, just messing around and stuff like that. And then, the Blue Chip CEO hit me up on Instagram and he was like, yo, we want you on the Blue Chips, we want you to come try out and stuff like that. I'm a pretty loyal guy, when it comes to teams like that. And I was already playing with a team. So I told him, I was already set, and then my brothers, I told my brothers about it, my family about it. It's like, just go down there for a practice, see what it's like. And I went down there and, I loved it, man. So, I loved it, but, I still wanted to, just play with my team. And then they was like, just play one tournament with them. And I played one tournament, went crazy, my first tournament. We took it from there.
Now, you mentioned something that some people might have slipped by a little bit there, but you said that already going about sixth, seventh grade, you're already posting your dunk videos. When did you first start dunking then?
I first started dunking in sixth grade.
You gotta take us through that a little bit. What was the story behind that?
I always, been the tallest kid. So, just messing around outside. My first dunk actually came outside. Yeah, we was playing outside. I just dunked it. I just been going from there. And then, in the basketball games, when I started taking it serious, I just started dunking in games and stuff like that, just getting my confidence up. Yeah.
You joined that Blue Chips team, and anyone in this generation will realize that that was one of the biggest scenes you might ever see on AAU. Maybe the same, if not just the only one compared, I'd say would probably be Lonzo and LaMelo and the big ball brand teams and all that type of stuff. But you guys were in middle school at that point, and you guys had the fame, you guys had the media going around you guys as you guys were only sixth, seventh, eighth graders. How did you deal with that? Was that challenging to deal with the fame and the attention on you at such a young age?
I was new to everything, so I didn't know what to expect,
Mm-hmm.
I just really took it as, more people know my name, I'm just out here, living BJ dream, that's just how I took it. And I just, was grateful every moment of it, just grateful, just enjoying the moment at that point. I don't feel like it was never no pressure for real, for real.
So you've had to deal with pretty much the target on your back and the people knowing your name since about sixth grade, seventh grade for yourself. Has that been something that you just become accustomed to, or how have you dealt with that as you've now got to the high school level, especially where there's a lot more talented players that know how to zone in on you? How have you dealt with kind of having that target on your back in a sense?
It's always been a target on my back. I just, just prepare for it. Every time I step on the court, I know somebody headhunt for me because, they trying to get where I'm at. So, I just can't let them get to me. I just play my game, and just have fun.
What's your favorite Blue Chips memory you have?
Definitely when we was in seventh or eighth grade, and we won back-to-back national championships. We won it down there in North Carolina, and then we flew straight from North Carolina down there to Vegas. And then we won that one. That was just amazing.
And the obvious note there is that that's obviously the LeBron James team. So you get to be around one of the greatest, not the greatest player of all time. Being around someone like that and having him in your life to help mentor you in a sense, learn from him. How big was that for you?
It was crazy, man. When I first seen him, I never been the type to be like, oh, that's LeBron, that's LeBron. I just, it might sound crazy, but I just looked at him as another person. He's a great person to be around. He taught me a lot of stuff. I'm just grateful. I had the opportunity.
And that is something that's unique because I was my brother played with Blue Chips for a little bit too. And you guys, obviously, you said LeBron is just with you guys. He hangs out with the families. He just is a part of you guys almost where he doesn't act as if he is one of the greatest players and athletes to ever live. Was that surprising to you at all, or was that something you expected from him?
Oh yeah, I always, knew he was just gonna be, a regular guy, a fun guy, that catch a vibe with us. It was true. It was true. He hanged out with us, hanged out with the team. Always laugh with us. But when it's time to get in crunch time, he always told us, what was there to be said.
Now, you guys look at that team and how many of you guys have already committed. Obviously, you and Gabe have been committed. The rest of the guys on that team pretty much all have opportunities that will be committing in the next year or so. Seeing how so many of you guys have now panned down, become guys that have lived up to you guys' dreams, what's it like seeing that?
It's just, it's great, seeing all your friends, your bros since, you was younger, I'll get offers, commit, just shine, because we was all on that team, to, get offers and stuff like that, just to see us all, committed, get offers, drop our top 5, top 10, it's great, man. And I'm just, blessed that we all made it.
I also want to ask about something else because for a very long time, your nickname, or at least what you had in your Instagram bio, was Loverboy. Now you've changed that over to State. So I want you to take us through the story. For starters, with Loverboy, how did that begin, and what was the meaning behind that?
I was in a relationship, for a real long time. I just never, cheated or nothing like that. I was always into my relationship. and stuff like that. So, people just call me Lover Boy and stuff like that. I started running with it because, everybody started calling me that. And then, eventually, that relationship ended, life goes on and stuff like that. So, state, that's where I'm from. I'm from State Ave. So, that's where I'm from. So, I changed the state.
Well, let's go into that high school career for yourself then. And I know there was a little bit of a quick switch that you had. Originally, you're going to go to SchuZ High, I believe, then switch over to Taft, which is where you create your name and your legacy for. What went in that transition right there?
At Taft, I wanted to go there at first, but, I just feel like Hughes was a better opportunity. But, playing summer league with Hughes, I just feel like, Taft was the better option. I had friends there, I love their playing style. And I just decided, that was the better option for me.
If someone would have came up to you and said, Rayvon, in 4 years' time or 3 years' time, you're going to be a guy that is going to be recruited by pretty much every school in the country. You're going to have likes of Kansas, Cincinnati, Alabama, UCLA, et cetera, coming after you. And you're going to be regarded as one of the top players in the country. Would you have been shocked? Is that what you expected? Or just take us through what your reaction would have been if someone told you that at that point in time?
I would have thought that was crazy, because that's a long time from now, and they definitely, would have predicted the future, obviously. But, I just would have stayed humble. I just would have waited my time, just stayed in the gym until that time would have came.
When did you know that you started feeling at least that you're a guy that is truly is one of the best players in the country? You have the capability of playing pretty much anywhere in the country. When did you start realizing that?
I realized that, at a young age, I always believed in myself. I always knew it was going to come. It was just a matter of time. I just had to show people, just show myself.
So you go into that freshman season, you guys go 17-8. What was that first year of high school basketball like for yourself?
It was crazy, playing against, teams like Huntington Prep, stuff like that, where they got 5 stars, Duke commit, Michigan State commit, and I went in there, scored 20, It was just just having fun, just learning, high school basketball because, I definitely went into the season, thought I was going to score like 30, 40 a night. But, it definitely humbled me to let me know that, it's a lot of players out there better than me, and I just had to hit the gym, sophomore year, just come back stronger.
A unique piece about you is that you are 6'7", and I know most people list you at forward, but obviously something you're more than capable of running, but you also have the ability to bring the ball up. You can also run the guard spots too. How have you become someone that's so versatile at your age already?
Being so big at a young age, I played inside, obviously. And I knew over time, I was going to have to turn into a guard. So, over time, playing with different teams and stuff like that, I started playing the guard position more. And in my workouts, work on my handles, make my jump shot more consistent, just stuff like that. Just, I already really, had the post moves, stuff like that. But I kept working at it, just work on more guard stuff.
You head into that sophomore season, and then you have an incredible season, really, as your breakout season on the national level. Then take us to that sophomore year. And did you expect going into that year that you were going to have that type of season?
I knew we was going to get farther than my freshman year. My freshman year, we lost in districts. And, sophomore year, we went to Final Four. Our team was really special. We had a lot of dedicated players, that been in Taft program since they was younger. They're hard-working players, play hard. So I knew we was going to get far. I just didn't know how far. I trusted them guys, and they, believed in me.
Around this time is when COVID's going on as well, and that messed up with a lot of guys. The 2023 class has got to go on visit for the majority of the time, though. But in terms of just playing basketball during that time off, how was the adjustment for you? How did you deal with the COVID pandemic?
I didn't let it stop me. I went outside and, I looked for a court, that had rims on it. I got to it. I was working out, but, it was hard, always wearing a mask because, never did nothing like this before. So, I always was used to hooping outside. So it wasn't really nothing new to me. So I just went outside, grabbed the ball, we got to work and stuff like that. We didn't really let it phase us.
I'm not sure how you answer this question, but I know some guys have said that for them, it almost was a benefit in a way. It was almost like a blessing in disguise because you were able to work out a lot more so than other people were. You really were able to focus in on your craft, and you had to be dedicated to do that because it wasn't an easy way to work out, but you could still get it done. How would you say that time was? Was it something that you were able to work out more so than even if there wasn't a pandemic, or how would you say that was in terms of your growth?
Definitely played a big role, definitely, I took more time off, working out and stuff like that. So, I could condition more outside, over here in, Cincinnati, we got a bridge between KY, Kentucky and Cincinnati. So, we'll run that bridge and stuff like that. do push-ups, jump the stairs. So, that was just really about conditioning, just staying healthy, getting shots up and stuff like that. So I just, just like I said before, it really didn't stop us. We stayed on the grind.
Well, let's go through that sophomore season because you guys go 16-5, ultimately lose the way you guys didn't want to, but we'll get into that in a second. You had, like I said, a breakout season though. So what was that sophomore year like for yourself?
It was great. I took everything from my freshman year, took it in and went into my sophomore year. I just let the chips fall, trusted my team. My team trusted me. I feel like we just more comfortable that year. I feel like my freshman year, we just focused mainly on state. My sophomore year, we really locked in and realized it's game by game by game. Everybody trying to beat us.
So you guys go to the playoffs then, and in the semifinals, you guys ultimately lose off a buzzer beater. Take us to that game.
That game was crazy. That was my lowest scoring game of the season. I had 9 points. They was boxing one of me. I ain't been boxing one all year. So, we didn't really know how to adjust to it. And it was in the zone. We didn't have many shooters really. So for us to, struggle through that the whole game and lose by 2 points, I think that's great. But it was rough, man. It was rough. The guy hit the last second shot coming off the screen. We all fell, man. And, it was crazy.
You head into your next season of AAU and you run with base fundamentals. Take us to that. Like, what was it like running with them?
COVID, was crazy. So, we didn't have that many tournaments. But, we had Peach Jam. We did all right in Peach Jam. We went in and thought, we was going to do better. But, COVID kind of messed us up. It was okay. It definitely could have been better.
Running in that organization, just take us to that team a little bit. Like, how big was that summer for you as a player, and just what was like being a part of that team?
That team, is a great team. We had a lot of, great scorers on that team, a lot of great players. And that summer, it was crazy. My first time playing, EYBL. So, I definitely went in there, had something to prove because, they haven't seen us, in a while since they took it away from COVID my freshman year. So definitely went in there, with something to prove.
Let's go into this past season then. You guys head into it, and as you just said, you guys lost off a way you guys didn't want to lose, and it wasn't even your best game either. How much pressure was there on yourself, or motivation even, I should say, heading into your junior year for yourself?
It was a lot of pressure. People say, I'm the reason, we lost that game. But, I know what I was going to do, the next season. So I just put the hours in, put the time in, really connect with my team, get the new guys on board. We did what we had to do.
The way you produced this year, was that something that you expected for yourself? Did you do as good or better? Or how do you feel that you did this past season personally?
Me, I feel like my scoring numbers went down a bit, but, I feel like it was for the better, because we had more scores this year. We had a lot more new guys. So I feel like this year was really, for me, a teaching year, to get the new guys on board, for them to get that chip on their shoulder to feel like they lost in the Final Four. The guys that lost in the Final Four with me last year, they already had that chip on their shoulder. So that was just a great year.
Go through this season then. As you said, it wasn't obviously your best in terms of scoring, but you still had a rise in pretty much every other stat category, and you guys go 19-7 this year. What was the season like?
Our first game of the season, we lost big. We lost by like 30 points, something like that, and people doubted us, that's not the team, we thought they was going to be and stuff like that. But we know what we was going to get. Our coach told us, when the Final Four and state come, everybody going to be at home, we still going to be playing. We just believed in the coaches and we believed in ourselves, that we had to do.
So take us to that state championship game. That's the game that you've been waiting to get to. You fire on that stage. Walk us to the beginning of that game to the end of it. Like, what was that game like?
Beginning of the game, my mindset was kill, kill everything, walking. And, our mindset was going to that game was, they ain't going to take it from us this time, We're going to get it and we're going to prove people wrong. That was our mindset.
I've always said something too about yourself. When you talk about that self, like I said earlier, you are one of the most humble guys. You're down to earth. But when you get on that court, that mentality shifts a lot for yourself. So how have you been able to go from off the court being that type of guy that's down to earth, humble, easy to talk to on the court, you flip that switch and you're a whole different personality where you're trying to go out there and kill and you have that dog mentality?
Just like I said before, my mindset, I know when I'm on that court, I always got something to prove to, not just the people, myself. So, I try to live up to the expectations. Off the court, I'm cool guy, to be around. That's not gonna never change. I'll never be a hot head or nothing like that. So, on the court, I'm gonna talk my stuff. I'm gonna get up in you. That's how we're gonna do it.
You guys end that game and you guys officially are state champions. What went through your mind?
It was crazy, man. It was a relief. I finally did it. No more doubt was in my body. And I just spent that time with my family, my coaches, and we celebrate like crazy.
Now you look back at your high school career so far, and besides the state championship, what would you say has been your favorite high school memory?
Favorite high school memory is definitely the practices. The practices was fun. We always made it exciting, because we always competed with each other. But definitely the hotels, man. We just, was a young group of guys. We only had 2 seniors. Us just being around each other, was great, man. And we always had fun.
Now you look into this next season. Obviously, we'll talk about other opportunities too, but you have one more year left until going to Cincinnati potentially. Is that something that I know for a lot of guys that are top players, and I'm sure you have got interest from a lot of different prep schools across the country? Is that something you're considering? Is that something that you would be open to doing for your final year of high school?
Oh yeah, 100%. But right now, I will be staying at Taft right now. So, but me and my family definitely, talking, considering it. But as of right now, I'm staying at Taft.
Well, I also want to go into your final AU season that you're in the midst of right now, and you decided to go with Midwest Basketball Club now, and you reunite with Gabe, who obviously talked a little bit about back with Blue Chips, and also you get to join guys like Reek, who's obviously a top player going out to Kentucky now. You talk about Makai Johnson, who's another top guy. What went into the decision? Why is that the program you wanted to run with for your final AAU season?
I wanted to play with them, last year, but some things end up happening and stuff like that. But they play great basketball. I feel like the way they play, really gets you ready for the next level. They definitely share the ball. I definitely feel on every team. I've been a number one scorer. I've always been a go-to guy. But on this team, they really play basketball. I don't got to be the go-to guy. Just playing around great players. Just learning how to move without the ball and stuff like that. I feel like can really help.
Talk about your relationship a little bit with Gabe, because as I said, this goes all the way back to about 6th, 7th grade for you two now. Reuniting with him now for your final AAU season, what's that been like?
It's great. Me and Gabe always been, great friends ever since I, joined the Blue Chips and stuff like that. Traveling with him and his family tournaments and stuff like that. So, we always been close. We know each other game and stuff like that. So, it's just going to be scary.
Now, unfortunately, obviously, you guys won't be able to necessarily team up in college because a lot of you guys are already committed. But when you guys now go match up, and if you play Indiana, you play Kentucky, or you play wherever Makai ends up going, what will those games be like?
It's going to be fun, playing with, it's always fun, playing against an old teammate and stuff like that, because, he a great player, he going to give us all, you're going to give your all. So, if we end up playing, Indiana or Kentucky, it's definitely going to be a movie.
Who would you say out of all your teammates you've been with so far, AAU-wise, who's the funniest teammate you have?
It gotta be Gabe or Ja. Gabe or Jazier, for sure.
Well, you do have a few more months left of this AAU season now. Is there a certain message or a certain statement that you want to make in your final AAU season?
This final AAU season, it's been fun, but this summer I'm gonna make a statement for sure that I'm top 25 in my class.
And now you have another year until you get out to college as well. So if I were to ask you in 1 year, did you achieve everything you wanted to? What would make up that list? If you could pick everything you wanted to get done the next year of your life, what's all the accomplishments, awards, things that you want to get done, improve on even over the next year until you get out to Cincinnati?
Win, everything I do, I just want to win. I just want to stay humble, just win for sure.
And my final AU question I've got for you, if you look back at all your AU games that you've played before, which one's your favorite one?
So back when I was playing with Orangeman, we was playing in this championship. We was playing against Elijah Fisher team. It was just a great game because, he's a great player. And we was playing for those rings. We came out with the wins. And, that was a, intense game, because Grassroots, they're a great team. Our Orangeman team was a great team. So, that game was just, so competitive. We was down big at halftime. But, our coach took us in at halftime, gave us a man-to-man talk. We came out with a lot of fire, and we ended up getting the win.
You also had a little bit of a documentary that came out a little bit ago, The Last Hope. Take us through the meaning behind that. Why would you say that's a nickname or at least a slogan that you go by that kind of helps define you and where you're at today?
Last whole meaning, I'm the last child in the family, and I feel like I'm the last chance of, my family getting out the, hood and stuff like that. So, they just call me the last hope because I'm the last hope, make son on our last name.
And that is where you're going to next. You've gone through this recruiting process and you've made it to the college level now. So know that you just were able to receive this many offers and know that you will be playing at the college level. How big is that for you?
It's big, another dream, scratched off, because, BJ, we want to play college basketball and stuff like that. So, just another dream scratched off.
So let's go all the way back then. When was the time you got your very first Division I offer and how did you learn about that? How did you get that offer?
I went to a team camp with SchuZ at Kent State. My first offer was Kent State. We went to a team camp. We played one game. The head coach watched me, and he was like, you're going to be something. He offered me right there on the spot.
What was your reaction when that occurred?
It was crazy. I didn't know how to feel. It was my first offer. I'm so young, so, I didn't know how to feel. But, I just said, thank you, appreciate it. We just went from there.
At that point in time, for some guys, they might look at that and say, okay, I've got my offer now. I'm set to go for life. Obviously, you didn't do that. You decided to keep working and improving. What kept you motivated after getting that first offer?
Definitely the first offer, because, it's a lot of players at that camp, that wanted that Kent State offer. Me personally, I know I wanted, bigger offers and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And, just kept working for sure because, everybody, want that Kent State off. So,
So we fast forward a little bit, and I believe you get down to that top 10 then, and you've been in some business now like Louisville and stuff like that. What made that first top 10 though? Why was that the first group that you really narrowed it down to and said, okay, these 10 schools have really separated themselves?
Those are the top 10 schools, recruited me consistently, the hardest. I really feel like I fit every school in that top 10 playing style, and they really showed me a lot of love.
So then you narrow it down to that top 5 then, the group that you technically have chosen from now with Cincinnati, Kansas, Alabama, UCLA, and Ohio State. What was about those 5 schools? How did they win themselves over those other 5 schools that you eliminated?
Those are great programs, and just like I said before, I fitted their playing style. They showed me a lot of love. Even if it's just text, a phone call, little things matter.
So as you go into this process, we know that you're going to Cincinnati now, but did you within your circle, a close circle, did you guys narrow it down to a smaller group? Was there maybe 1 or 2 schools that you came down to besides Cincinnati?
No, it was always 5. I knew it was going to be a school in that 5, and people always ask me, if like a school like Kentucky, offer you like now or something like that, would you take it? Me personally, I wouldn't because, I'm big on consistency. I'm big on, building a bond. So
if you weren't going to go to Cincinnati, if they never tried recruiting you, what school do you think you would have went to out of those other 4 schools then?
Ohio State for sure.
And that has to be the huge thing because you get to stay home now. That is being the hometown hero once again. To be a hometown hero, what does that mean to you? And is there any pressure at the same time knowing that every time you step foot on that court, you're going to be representing your hometown?
Never any pressure, I feel like I'm always representing my hometown, whatever I do. So, this time I'm just playing on, a floor, with Cincinnati on it. So, definitely going to make the best of it. Definitely going to give people a show.
So when did you know that Cincinnati is a school you want to go to? I know you announced that you're going to be committing on Easter. You said you're going to be 2 more weeks from that point. But when was it Cincinnati that you said, this is where God wants me playing at? I know I'm meant to be at Cincinnati. I'm going to be a Bearcat. When did that settle in for yourself?
Really my freshman year, when Mick Cronin was there. I always knew I wanted to play for Cincinnati. I just thought it was going to be for him. But, Wes Miller, is a great guy, and I love him. He recruited me the best. I feel like out of all the head coaches, that's why I chose Cincinnati. But I always know my heart was with Cincinnati.
So I know that for a lot of guys, the dream school is not something I was asking guys because obviously a lot of people put attention on that school and whatever going through the process. But was Cincinnati the dream school? And if not, then who was the dream school growing up for yourself?
Growing up for myself, I didn't really have a dream school. Mm-hmm. I liked a lot of schools and liked the way they played and stuff like that. Cincinnati, that's where my heart was always at for sure.
So when you decide, okay, I'm going to be a Bearcat, I'm going to Cincinnati, how did you tell Coach Miller?
So I actually told him like I actually told him I think a couple of days ago. So I told my brother to set up a Zoom call. Just make it seem like we're gonna have a normal conversation and stuff like that. In the middle of the conversation, I was like, hold on, I gotta say something. And I told him I was committed. He jumped up out his seat, and all the assistant coaches, jumped up out of their seat and stuff like that. It's just a great moment.
When that happened, what was going through your mind then?
It's done. It's done. I'm a Bearcat now. I just got to put it out to the public now. We're going to make up a date. The date was May 1st.
So when you were telling him that, so what exactly was he talking about? Was he just kind of going over a recruiting pitch for you again, the play style, or what was he telling you when you officially jumped in and said, I'm going to be a Bearcat?
First thing you say, Ray, I want you to be a Bearcat. That's the first thing he said. In my head, I was like, little do you know, I'm about to commit. But it's just great. He's just talking about, asking us, how our day was going and stuff like that, just little stuff like that.
Well, I do want to get into Coach Miller because last year was his first year, pretty solid overall season. Obviously, there's a lot more room to build. Now he has his own players in there and everything too. But what is it about Coach Miller? What is so special about Coach Miller that made you say, I want to go to Cincinnati. He won me over?
His attitude, his energy, I feel like even when he off the court, not even coaching, he just got a purpose about everything. I definitely want to play for a coach like that. I feel like every coach I played for, is like that.
What would you say is your favorite memory that you've created so far, Coach Miller?
When I was shooting my commitment video, and we was in the middle of a court doing a little gritty dance. So yeah, you go see that on my commitment video.
So then you guys were able to film the commitment video with him then?
Oh, yeah. We went to Cincinnati and stuff like that. I had to put a hood on. It was funny because I didn't want to I was up there. It was a great time.
I want to take us through the visits a little bit then. I mean, obviously it's not too far from your house, but to go out and just see the campus, be able to walk through the things, like take us through the visits. Like from the time you get to the time you leave, what is those visits like? And what do you guys all get done there?
The visits, just show me around, go to football games and stuff like that, bond with the players. I know a lot of Cincinnati players and stuff like that, Jeremiah Davenport, a lot of other players and stuff like that, just chilling with them because, I knew them before, he was even at UC and stuff like that. So it was great.
When you talk about the locker room currently, I know there's been some guys that's transferred out, but were there any players that were big for you in your recruiting process that kind of helped recruit you to Cincinnati?
Not really, I always knew my heart was there. So now it's just, me recruiting players.
Now, is there anyone else in that locker room that you'd say you're at least close to that you've kind of built a good relationship with over the past couple of months, maybe even a year or so?
I want Isaiah Collier, Cincinnati with me. He dropped his top 8. Cincinnati was on there. So I definitely hopped on it before, I even told Coach Miller I was committed, he's just a great player, and even if it wasn't Cincinnati, I definitely just wanted to play with him in college because we had 3 of the same schools and stuff like that. So I was hitting him up and, we chopping it up and, hopefully he made that decision.
All right, so give us the 2023 dream class. You're a first man there. You're going to be the lead recruiter. What would the dream class for Cincinnati's 2023 recruiting class look like?
Me. Mm-hmm. I want Isaiah Collier, and I feel like that's all really we need for real. Just me and him. Just a solid big man. That get the job done. I feel like we make a lot of noise.
How special would that dynamic duo be at the college level?
It'd be crazy. Because he's a great point guard. He can really see the floor. Score. The ball amazing. I know what I bring to the game, energy, can score the ball, really do a lot of everything, with the players that's going to be there, I feel like we'll really be a solid Cincinnati team.
Let's say I am Isaiah. I'm any guy going to be recruiting in the future too. What's your recruiting pitch to me? What would you say to me to help get me to go to Cincinnati?
Try to recruit you like Coach Wes Miller, recruited me, just showing, that I'm dedicated, and that I'm, a great teammate, just try to make you want to play with me.
Obviously, fans are going to be ecstatic to get you out there. You're the 7th highest ranked commit. You're a hometown hero. But what can you tell them you're going to be bringing to this program? When you do step foot out there at Cincinnati and you start playing, what will you be bringing to Cincinnati?
I'm going to bring my winning mentality. I'm going to bring my mentality, bring my humbleness. I'm going to bring, my athleticism, everything, God gave me, to bring to the game. I'm going to bring to Cincinnati.
Are there any other coaches on the staff that you become close to since you've been starting to get to know them all?
Every single coach, they all call me, they all come to my games, come to my workouts and stuff like that. every single coach on the coaching staff.
Now, I know there's another opportunity technically for yourself. I'm not sure if you have the academic ability too, but is reclassing an opportunity for yourself? Is that something that you've looked at, or is that even something you'll consider going up and playing in 2022 class and playing next year?
No, I feel like me being in high school and stuff like that, it gave me more time, get ready for the next level. I never really thought about it really, but because I feel like I definitely need more time to, develop my game.
So what do you want to work on then? You have about a year or so to get out there. What are the things that you want to improve on and get better at before you step foot on campus out there?
Definitely made my jump shot more consistent. Dribbling a little better. Defense. I feel like I lock up. I get a lot of blocks, stuff like that. But really just everything. And just get ready for the next level.
When you do get out there and that first game ever occurs for yourself, where you see your last name on that jersey and you get put that on, and then go out there and play in front of the hometown, what do you think is going to go through your mind?
Everything will go through my mind. I'm gonna be like, what type of game it's gonna have, what type of game I'm gonna have, and stuff like that. Just everything that goes through my mind before every other game.
This might put you on the spot a little bit, but if you were to list your top three favorite players that ever played at Cincinnati, who would they be?
Uh, uh, Jeremiah Davenport. Uh, Lance Stevenson.
Mm-hmm.
It got to be Cumberland for sure. Cumberland.
When you get out there, I can imagine that the goal is that you become one of the top players in program history too. And maybe obviously you have the ability to go to the NBA earlier on, so you might not have a 4-year career like some of those guys have had. But when you do look at that and say you could create a legacy for yourself there, what do you want to build on that? And how excited you possibly go out there and put your name up against some of those other top players in program history?
Just definitely, just bring my game, looking at that, and I could possibly, be like them guys. I know number one, they put the work in. Number two, they handle their books and stuff like that. Number three, just went out there and played hard.
Are there any players that you like to watch or kind of model your game after, maybe even one guy specifically that you really would say you play a lot like?
Scotty Barnes. I really like Scotty Barnes. He's a real versatile player. I talk to him a lot and stuff like that. He's a great versatile player. He can shoot, play defense, and he can pass. He's just a real leader. That's why he won Rookie of the Year. I just want to model my game after him.
I know a huge thing about college basketball in the past couple of years has been NIL and the advancements on that. Was that something that factored in your recruitment at all? And if so, like, just what would even was the discussion? Like, if it didn't affect you at all, like, what was the discussion that Coach Miller had for you in terms of NIL?
Rayvon, being from Cincinnati, hometown hero and stuff like that, it's going to create a lot of buzz and stuff like that. But, I didn't really pay attention to, that, at the end of the day, when I was younger, I just wanted to play basketball, that's what I want to do now.
To have the extra benefit, to be able to make money and potentially a lot of it too, how much or how big is that for you? And especially for your situation, your story, how big is that for you to help you now potentially earn that amount of money when you do get to college?
It's big, because I can, growing up, I thought it was going to be, NBA to where I get back to my family. But, now that I can make money in college, and get back to my family so, they can do better and stuff like that, it's just great, going into college, knowing that I can, learn and make money just off my name. And, me playing basketball, that's great.
Another huge thing about Cincinnati is that they obviously are making the big move to the Big 12 now by the time you get out there. How big was that for you in your recruiting process?
Definitely played a huge role, because I want to play the best, Big 12, that's one of the best of the best. So definitely just excited for that.
If they were to stay in the AAC, is that still a school that you probably could have seen yourself going to, or was the Big 12 move huge for you in terms of you committing there?
It wasn't huge. At the end of the day, competition. Everybody gonna get their best game. I just want to go out there and hoop for the Bearcats.
So when you look at the Big 12, what school are you the most excited to go up and match up against?
Every school, because every school, different. I'm really show my how really versatile I am. Playing against different teams and stuff like that. So
Now going back to the NIL thing, that doesn't necessarily have to be a realistic brand, but if you could pick any company in the world, rather that be a car company, a clothing, a shoe brand, whatever it is, what would be your dream NIL deal?
Definitely a food deal. I like to eat, man. I like to eat a lot. Definitely be a food deal or, just something like that.
So what's your favorite food then?
I like chicken. I like chicken.
So you try to get some canes or something like that?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Absolutely, man. Well, I know that all guys do want to build a legacy for themselves. So when you do end up leaving Cincinnati and you finish up your career out there, what do you want to be remembered for what you achieved both on and off the court there?
What I'm gonna be remembered for, at any other team I play for, he's humble. He played hard all the time. He always pick up his teammates. He definitely put on for that team. The time he was there.
Now, we have gone into your faith a little bit throughout this interview, but I want to go a little bit deeper into that now because I know you're a believer. So, how would you say that God has helped get you to the point that you're at today?
God helped me a lot. I pray all the time. I feel like I could pray more, because God blessed me a lot. When my mom got shot, I prayed like crazy. He just kept my mom here and stuff like that. So, I'm definitely a big believer. If I give thanks to anybody, I give thanks to him.
When you look back at all the ups and downs that you've gone through throughout your journey, your story to this point, where is the moment you've seen God show up the most for you?
Definitely, when my mom got shot for sure. That was scary for me. God just guided me through the way. He stuck with me through, that whole little process. I'm just glad she's okay.
You going forward, obviously, God always has a purpose for everyone and in many different aspects too. One way, obviously, could be that a lot of guys also go into the same situation as you, and there will be many more throughout the rest of history. What's your advice to them and what's your motivation to them? Why should they stay on the right path? Why should they trust God and follow whatever he's got in store for them?
He blessed me. He gonna bless everybody. On his world. Just stick with it. If the blessing, don't come right in and there, you just gotta know that it's gonna come in the future for sure.
Now, did you grow up a believer? And if so, like, even if you did, I know it's obviously you learn the stories or whatever in the beginning, but when would you say that it came that time where you started trusting in God and you put your faith in him and really had that one-on-one personal relationship with him?
I feel like I had the one-on-one, when I, got more mature and I started, knowing more about God and stuff like that. The Bible, but, as I was young, I used to go to church every Sunday, with my grandma and my mom and stuff like that. So, I just always, been linked in. But, when I started getting more mature and start really understanding, that's when I really got it one-on-one.
As your platform continues to grow and build over the time, how do you plan to be able to represent God and be his light to the world?
Just always giving thanks to him. I feel like people don't do that enough. Whenever I talk about something, I just want to give thanks to him first and stuff like that.
Absolutely, man. Rayvon, I got one final question for you. Give Cincinnati fans your three biggest goals that you have set for your Cincinnati career.
Win a national championship, win the Big 12, just have fun.
Rayvon, congratulations, man, the commitment. I'm excited to see what God got next for you throughout the next year and obviously at Cincinnati as well. Keep doing your thing out there, man, and appreciate you taking time to come on today.
For sure. I appreciate you, man.
Of course, y'all's welcome on, man. God bless.
For sure. God bless.